crying emojis in the chat. Oh my lord, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video. And whenever you hear that music, you know it's time to report on some WWE champions. That's right, our boy Phil decided to do some Hogan pulls over the weekend. And I waited a little bit before I actually reported this because it looks like he really just played it for one day or spent money on one particular day. So typically, Phil goes on a 2 or 3 day binge or binge when it comes to WWE champions. But so far, according to TJ Gamebox on the Twitterverse, it looks like it may have just been 1 day of full spending. That's right. And our boy wasted $736 on sweaty JPEGs. That's right. And what did he get? Well, it looks like our boy Phil ended up getting Bubba Dudley. I think that's who it is. Let's see. Bubba Ray Dudley from, I'm guessing, the Dudley brothers. If my memory serves me well of what I watched of WWE wrestling, I believe he was part of a tag team called the Dudley Brothers. Excuse me. Anyway, so that's right. It looks like our boy Phil went on a nice spending spree, and it could go up. Like I said, Phil typically does 2 or 3 days of dropping some serious cash on WWE champions, but we know he's been a little bit strung due to lack of funds. And, our boy Phil has been struggling ever since the Argentinian detractors and, of course, the YouTube side contributions have just all but dried up. And we all know our boy Phil is playing Like a Dragon Infinite Bag, which, of course, yesterday brought him a whopping $8. And then Baldur's Gate, of course, has been drying up. He cracked $100 yesterday. There's 2 guys out there that are propping up this playthrough. And the views are just garbage. But that's for another video. So yeah, the interesting thing here is that Phil spent $736, right? And what I want to point out is, again, this is just a coincidence, of course. It's just a random coincidence. But apparently in the last, I think, 7 days, I think I reported out and a few other folks reported out that Phil made over about $835. I believe that's what Phil made in tips. And if you subtract the PayPal fees and the other stuff, it gets pretty close to that $736. Just a fucking coincidence, of course. Just don't take a look at the man behind the curtain. It's just let's pull up Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen in the background of Naked Gun saying, "Nothing to see here, folks. Keep walking. Nothing to see here," while explosions and bombs and people falling out of buildings are happening behind him. He's waving and saying, "There's nothing to see here. Keep moving along." And that's right. That we have nothing to see here. That Phil's tip amounts equate to almost exactly the amount he spent on WWE champions. Now, I think I mentioned this before, but I was curious if any detractors out there kind of keeping tabs on Phil's WWE champion spending. And the only one is TJ Gamebox, but he just kind of reports out specific events and what Phil spent and what he won. And it's just tweets here and there. So I decided to take it upon myself to actually go back and track his spending. That's right, his spending. So real quick, let me just go here. What I decided to do, of course, is to create a spreadsheet. Now, your boy Duty, what he did was he went back and he did this so far for 2024. I need to go back and do 2023, which may take me a little bit because we all know that Phil, Phil loves to spend he loves to spend on WWE champions. I mean, a lot. And it's a lot of tweets that I need to go through and identify what day he pulled, how long he pulled for, and how much money he spent. So for 2024, it's not that bad because it's only 3 months. So what I did here was I put a column here for the month, the start date, the end date, and then the total amount for the event. And then I also calculated the monthly totals. And then, of course, I have a column here for the sweaty JPEG that Phil won during that time period. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to add, I added a nice little tab here with all of the screenshots of what Phil pulled, his collection of sweaty JPEGs. And it seems like the only really good one here is probably Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I think he just recently, no, that wasn't recent, that was a couple weeks ago. What he recently just pulled, I believe, was the Dudley brother one. That's the one he just pulled. Yeah, here it is right here. So as you can see so far, Phil has managed to pull in, it looks like he's pulled in 10 sweaty JPEGs for his lineup. And I'm not fully sure how it works. I'm not sure if you win wrestlers for your lineup only, or if certain things are for certain events and it gives you like a boost or something. I'm not fully sure. Your boy Duty doesn't follow WWE champions that way. So, yeah, so I'm going to keep track of this going forward. So what I'm going to do is every time they report out that Phil is on a binging spree for WWE champions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the spreadsheet and record it, and then that way we can keep a running total of how much Phil spent on WWE champions. I'll probably use it in my segment, the financial audit, and of course we can take a look at how many tips Phil pulled in for the work week, and then compare that to how much money he's spending on WWE champions. Spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure it's going to match up pretty closely. Okay, so far in January, Phil wasted, and I'm going to use this word a lot, wasted, because that's what he did here. Phil wasted $4,456 on Hogan pulls in January. In February, he didn't spend that much because, of course, we know Phil's been hard up for cash. This is another thing, just a fucking random coincidence here. But in January, Phil thought he was going to have a great year. Remember in January where Phil talked about, oh man, this is going to be a great year. I got all these member bombs. It's great. This was before he found out that the Argentinian detractors were attacking the business, right? And Phil thought he had all this money. And what did he do? He went fucking bonkers in January and wasted $4,456. And then when he realized that, oh, wait a minute, I don't have that cash. Then, of course, he had to cut back on the WWE champions. How fucking interesting. And, of course, he had to take the tip money and supplement his YouTube check. Because, you know, Cat can't be aware that Phil is wasting thousands of dollars every month on WWE champions. And I think Cat doesn't give a fuck as long as the bills are paid. As long as her bills are paid, the mortgage is paid, she's getting her 3 DoorDashes a day, Cat doesn't give a shit. But if Phil can't bring that cash and pay for the mortgage or pay for DoorDash, then Cat's gonna fucking bounce. She's gonna find herself another man. And of course, Team Divorce will rise again, folks. Team Divorce. Okay, and then, all right, so like I said, in February, he wasted $2,839, almost half what he spent in January. And then in March, he bounced back a little bit here. He wasted $2,994. Now, mind you, we still have an additional week to go. The month isn't over, but I decided to add all this up. So far, 3 months of 2024, Phil has spent $10,289, right? And you say to yourself, well, Duty, how much in tips did Phil make this year? I have that number. Phil has made in tips this year $11,335. That's what Phil made this year. So if you take away the percentage of PayPal's cut and the transaction fees of, I think, 49 cents per transaction, it gets pretty fucking close to that 10,000 mark. Just a fucking coincidence. Nothing to see here, folks. Keep going, keep walking. Nothing to see here. Yeah, Phil, sure you're not down from the rafters. Sure you're not. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll report out again if Phil's wasting more money. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Enjoy the video. Peace out.